were happening, but he saw that Aisha radiallahu anha was extremely interested. So he said to her, "Are you interested to go and see?" She says, "Yes, obviously I am interested." So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam takes her outside, and they're witnessing these Muslim brothers. They're doing this particular activity with their spears and lances as a type of demonstration. And Aisha radiallahu anha, she's observing this entire time. She's watching, she's seeing, she's enjoying. And she says, "I was resting on the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as I was watching them continue their play. And I did this for so long that eventually, it wasn't the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who got tired of me being there. Rather, I got tired." And he says, "Did you have enough?" And I said, "Yes, I had enough." And then I come back to my chambers. And then she says to her students when she's narrating this hadith that you have to understand, I was young that time. And what do you think if a young girl has the opportunity to witness some beautiful, interesting demonstration of play? How long do you think that person is going to be observing and watching for? Basically saying, I was young, I was resting on the Prophet ﷺ, I was observing, and it took a long time, and the entire time the Prophet ﷺ, he bore patiently, he was waiting, he didn't feel agitated, he didn't give any signs of being, tired or annoyed or frustrated. And that goes to show how patient Nabi ﷺ was. Now there's two things we can talk about in this hadith. The first, again, we're talking about this entire week, about accommodating different cultures, being understanding of people's perspectives, being aware of people's hobbies and habits. And just because someone comes from a different ethnicity, a different background, a different mindset, a different, entire worldview, so long as it does not conflict with the Sharia, we as Muslims, despite being of a different background, we should be fully accommodating of that, just so no one feels out of place. Right? If I'm from one country, I speak one language. If I'm from another country, I speak another language. If I have certain habits growing up, you have certain habits growing up. And that's natural, and that's going to be the case. But how can we accommodate for one another and never make one another feel out of place? That despite me, I'm from America, I speak a particular language. This brother's from this country, he speaks that language. That brother, he's from this background, he speaks that language. They have these habits. When we're together, let's never make each other feel as though they are, insignificant. Or, oh, why do you stutter? Why do you speak with the accent? Or why do you dress like this? Why do you speak like this? Why do you eat like this? As long as it's within the Sharia, I should never say things which are offensive. I should be very accommodating. Nabi ﷺ saw those people, it was a part of their culture to demonstrate with the lancers, with the spear, in that manner. And he did not make them feel out of place. Rather, he showed interest. He's like, wow, subhanAllah, what an amazing play, what an amazing demonstration. He accommodated for them. And we should be the exact same. Somebody comes from a different area, different background, different habits and hobbies, different culture, different language, different way of eating, different way of dressing, different way of behaving. So long as it's part of the Sharia, there's nothing conflicting with the Sharia, I as a Muslim brother, as a Muslim sister, I should never feel as though, let me tell him, what ajib, what strange, what weird thing are you doing? No. I should be very sensitive to the person's sensibilities, because just like if somebody talks about me like that, how offended I will feel. If somebody talks about me in a matter, I'm like, I'm not doing anything Islamically incorrect. Please don't say something offensive about my culture, my background, my understanding, so long as it falls within the Sharia and does not conflict with the Sharia. And obviously the second thing we learn is the patience of the Prophet ﷺ with Aisha radiallahu anha, how she wanted to observe that play. And she was watching and she was watching, and Nabi ﷺ never expressed his frustration and how tired he was. Rather, he bore with her and he went through the entire time. These are some of the lessons that we learn from the life of the Prophet ﷺ. And the most important lesson that we learn is, how can we function as a diverse community, as a diverse society, as a diverse ummah, and be able to accept one another without letting these differences becoming a barrier. Rather, we allow our differences to enrich us, strengthen us, and show how unique we are despite our differences and how well we can be connected with one another. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase our brotherhood. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to reflect the beautiful character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khairan, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.